The start of NHL training camp is just around the corner as prospect tournaments and showcases kick off this weekend around the league. Tonight from Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas, the Dallas Stars and the Detroit Red Wings begin a two-game prospect series. And we are glad to have you with us as a new hockey season has arrived. Good evening, everyone. Brian Ray alongside Brent Severin as we are just about ready to go here at center ice. Sevy hockey season is officially back. Training camp doesn't start for about another week, but this really is the unofficial kickoff when it comes to the NHL season.
Yeah, it's starting all across the NHL. It's nice to be in a hockey rink. Great to see the guys warming up. You see the excitement as we talked to them this morning. Everybody's in their official, and I mean official, NHL jerseys. Let's get it on, Brian.
First period is underway, and for a lot of these kids, just drafted this past summer as we've got a puck into the Detroit bench right off the hop, but you've got 18-year-olds that are getting into this for the first time. You have some 22, some 23-year-olds. It really is a bit of a variety with both of these rosters, and it does make for an interesting first game as we've seen over the years in these tournaments.
Yeah, if you look at Detroit, I think they have a higher-end talent, more high-end picks. Stars are going to have to grind this one out with this team. It's going to be fun to see these two teams matched up.
Well, one of those first-round picks for Detroit, Brandis Nygaard. There's a lot of questions about the pronunciations that were going to be used as Detroit has a quick goal right off the hop. Then there's some of that high-end speed you were talking about, Seven, that skill. 23 seconds in, and a nut front drive by Emmett Finney has put the Wings up 1-0.
Yeah, Finney is one of those kids. We're going to talk about a lot of them today, but Emmett is one of the guys that we're looking at, or the Detroit organization is looking at to make the jump. And as we see the replay here, look at the giddy up and go through, and it's just the hard drive for the defenseman there. You got to turn at the right time. He gets turnstiled a little bit. Real difficult. Early in the game, right, you talked about the nerves. You talked about the guys trying to get up to it, and you got speed through the neutral zone. I believe in this little games here, the series that we're having, Detroit is a much faster team, so the Stars are going to have to really limit them as much as they can.
Well, a bit of a mix-up between a Dallas Stars player and one of the on-ice officials, and there is an element of chaos in these opening games as Dallas forces a turnover in the offensive zone. Finney, the goal scorer for Detroit, 20-year-old player, and one of those guys who played in a couple of preseason games last year. He's someone who has experience in a prospect series like this, as Dallas will stretch things through neutral, and a shot off the wing off the stick of Ayrton Martino sails wide. So the Stars will reset in their own zone. Here's Connor Punnett. Things broken up at the center ice logo. Detroit trying to move back in quickly as the puck skittered through a couple of Dallas skaters, swatted away but not out, and the Wings will set things up offensively. This one funneled in front that was blocked.
And you mentioned a little chaos here early in the season, early in this game. Till everybody settles in, I think you're going to see a little helter-skelter out there, and that's exactly what we've seen from the Stars in their process and in their defensive posture early.
Well, Collard with a feed from behind the net, and Cross with the save on the one-timer.
Butterflies out and get a hit, get a bump, get involved in the game, because you're really nervous right now. You know that this is a start of hopefully a long career for you at the professional level.
There's Andre Becker winning the draw for the Wings. As things are tied up now, moving off here to the near side. Well, Dallas starting to throw the weight around physically a little bit. Sevy, you said at the top of the broadcast, there's probably a little more high-end skill on this Detroit roster. One way to counteract that, a little more will, a little more physicality to try and slow down that Detroit speed as the Wings hold it in right at the blue line. A funneled puck between the circles, skipping off a body just wide of the net. Settled down here by Jackson Feuder of Dallas. Finally forcing things out to neutral, and the Wings will reset.
Yeah, the hardest thing to do after training all summer, getting ready, is these game scenarios. It's much faster. You got to move the quicker. It takes you a little time to settle in. Even for the NHL guys, it takes about a month really to get you up to speed and get ready for the season.
Stars go to work on the forecheck. Here's Berglund trying to tie it up. A shot from the blue line, kicked away by Rudy Guimond, the starting netminder for the Wings in this one. It's Ben Cross for the Stars. And now Scott for Dallas working his way across the Detroit line. Off to Justin Ertl. So he'll force a puck in front, knocked down by the Wings netminder.
Yeah, Stars finally getting the puck deep a little bit, working the cycle. Like I said, not as fast as Detroit, so get it in and work the puck as low as possible.
Justin Ertl played a preseason game last year for Dallas. Emmett Finney, who scored the early goal for Detroit, had a couple of preseason games. In the first period, you feel like the players that have had a training camp or two underneath their belt, they can bring a little calmness to these opening games in a prospect showcase. As Detroit looks to begin the counterattack rush. Broken up by Emil Hemming. Couldn't hold it in. Wings on the move. Now Danielson for Detroit. He'll weave his way through traffic. Stood up by Punnett. The puck squirts free behind the Dallas net. Christensen centers it in front, and a high wrister by Danielson. Cross caught a piece of it. So the Wings have generated the more dangerous opportunities. Dallas has thrown the weight around a little bit more in the opening 3.5 minutes of this first period.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was the focus of Dan Watson, the head coach for the Wings this morning, was these passes to the middle of the ice, and they seem to be executing properly.
Now another shifty move by the Wings coming in offensively cross side.
Yeah, for Toby, it's been a while since he's been in the coaching realm. He's mainly been a skills coach for the Colorado Avalanche, so very excited to get this opportunity with the Texas Stars.
Here's Sandin Pellikka. Shot from the blue line was wide, fed back out to the line. Now Bouillam's effort for Detroit skipped up. May have clipped the netting, but play will continue.
It did, Brian. Let's move along.
Amadeus Lombardi for Detroit can't hold it in. And the Wings regroup. Floated in by Bouillam. Well, picked up by Detroit on the forecheck. Carson Bantle, now Lombardi working. As it rolls out to Bouillam at the point. High wrister punched away by Cross. Chisholm settles it down for Dallas. The Stars finally get it out to neutral, but a little crisscrossed, and back in come the Wings, but offside.
Have this game, it's the consistency. They want to see what the kids can do. If you want to be an athlete at the highest level, you got to bring consistency. This game, the start of this training camp, preseason, into your career, you have to build consistency, and that's what the coaches are looking for from now till you're done your career. That's what you have to bring, and this is the start of it for these young kids.
Here's Bertucci, a second-round pick for the Stars, as he'll begin the counterattack. Working with Tommy Berglund. Now deflected in by the Stars. Guimond will cover it up. And we'll get a face-off inside the Detroit zone. The officials for this, some words and some shoves, so they're going to have a busy night as well, it feels like, is the emotion of the youth.
Yeah, there's so much emphasis on skill and all that. You know, still getting in there, getting yourself noticed, lay the hit, be aggressive. That's all part of it as well. And coaching staff and management looking for that type of push from players.
Stars can't hold it in at the line, but Bertucci will reset inside the Dallas zone. Now begins the play up the right side to Dawson Sharkey. Now the Wings take over. An errant pass ends up back in the Dallas end. We'll get our first icing call.
That's a constant thing that coaches, management, that's how they're evaluating these kids. And with pressure, it builds as they head from here to preseason and to the NHL regular season.
And a lot of conversation about processing information. Both coaches told us that independently, where you have only a couple of days to get your team set. You can't exactly put a full schematic of play as things are skipped away by Guimond off to the quarter of the Detroit zone. But how much information can these young kids process in a short period of time? Nate Danielson's effort was blocked. Cristoforo stepped in front of that for Dallas. Now recovered here by Doucette for Detroit. Shoots it on net, kicked away by Cross. The rebound loose, kept alive momentarily by Doucette. Cristoforo takes over for Dallas. He'll loft things back inside the Detroit zone. Icing called against the Stars now, and the puck coming back.
To get these kids acclimated, putting on the jerseys, being a pro, and then getting them ready for training camps coming up.
Handled here by Christensen at the point. He plays the puck off to the corner. Lombardi hunting for it. Scott takes over for Dallas. Under pressure, and the Wings force it free. Now a bad angle chance from the circle off the stick of Bantle, knocked away. Couple of bodies toppling over. Dallas will transition. Here's Cameron Schmidt. Their third-round pick. Their first pick, because Dallas did not have any picks in the first two rounds. Part of the Mikko Rantanen trade that was the big blockbuster at the trade deadline last season. But Schmidt, one of those players that the fans here in Frisco are very excited to see. As Hemming will horseshoe it behind the Detroit net.
And most kids here, Brian, 18 to 22 years of age, so they get to play against their peers, see how they stack up. You got some college kids with some 18-year-olds that are unsigned, and guys are getting a look at it. So it's a real interesting way to get a feel from young kids in your organization.
And one of those on the ice right now, 19-year-old Nilo-Pekka Muhinen. 6'5", very noticeable out there in a game like this, 215 pounds.
Think Essa Lindell when you think of that young man.
Yep.
Likes the defensive aspects of the game. Guy I'm going to watch closely for sure.
And another Finn. Jim Nill loves drafting and acquiring players from Finland. As the Wings continue to cycle things towards the middle of the Dallas end, broken up by the Stars defensively. Now back to Sandin Pellikka. Highly touted defensive prospect and a shot from the blue line of Zor.
Two as of yet, I believe.
It was a 15-year crossover between Yzerman's playing career and front office career where he was working with Jim Nill as the Stars move in on the counterattack. Pushed around the end wall by Paquette. As he tries to extend things, instead it's poked free by the Wings and they'll move out in transition. Stars slow it down at the Wings line. Now Cross settling down a loose puck in the trapezoid. Under some pressure, now lays it off to his D-man in the form of Berglund.
You can really see the second guy for the Detroit forecheck is always on top of the Stars.
Well, Chisholm's got a split move between the two Detroit defensemen, but couldn't get a clean shot off as he ran out of real estate, charging in on Guimond. Now a feed out to the circle for Sharkey was steered wide. Stars hold it in, extending the possession. Fed off to the point for Punnett. His shot tipped in front and just wide. As the Wings try to swat things out, Dallas cuts it off. They've picked up their forechecking game a little bit here. Finally, the puck will squirt free out to center.
Yeah, starting to skate a little bit more, getting pucks deep, getting that first and second man on the puck has seemed to be kind of getting a little reward for that now with a little bit more offensive zone time.
Jackson Feuder's low shot angles its way out to center. Nate Danielson staying with it for the Wings momentarily. Now Gorzinski picks his pocket. As the puck goes airborne, Punnett tries to glove it down. Picked up by Detroit, in they come. The pass misplayed, now returned out to center. Cristoforo couldn't locate it. Stars will shift out personnel, Wings will reset inside their own zone. Now Trey Taylor trying to break things up just inside the Dallas line. Settled down here by Muonen. Schmidt shouldered off the puck, but recovered here by Scott. Took the open ice hit, but made the pass up to Taylor. Dancing around the Detroit net. His centering feed tipped away by the stick of Guimond. It's slowed down here by Finney of the Wings. Looking to clear it out, cut off by the Stars at the line. Past Schmidt and back behind the Detroit net. This is Scott. Turnaround wrister fluttering in front. Kicked away by Guimond, stretching out the leg as it pinballs around. Now swatted out to the corner. And the Wings will clear things over the glass and out of play.
Yeah, last 4 or 5 minutes, Brian, these Stars are really starting to come at it. Referees getting together to see if this puck was fired over the glass. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get a 2-minute penalty.
We'll get our first power play of the game as they take the media timeout with 9:52 left in the first period. 1-0 score favoring Detroit. Emmett Finney scored at just 27 seconds into the contest. But Dallas with a power play opportunity to try and even things back up. And that's part of the chaos, part of the, you talked about pressure and these kids learning how to deal with the pressure. And that's an exact pressure play. That's something that you have to learn how to adjust to playing in games like this.
Yeah, you can see the Stars establishing their forecheck now. And usually in a situation like that, if you got a team that's a little bit more skilled, faster, they're going to come out harder. You know, again, we mentioned the coach for the Red Wings. They wanted to make sure, Dan Watson said they wanted to come out, they wanted to establish early, they want to keep their guys rolling quickly, and they did that early. The Stars starting to read it, taking their time more with the puck and getting it out of zone. Every young defenseman has got to learn that if they can make that first pass out every time, they're going to play 20 years in the National Hockey League. That's how simple it is. It's difficult because you got guys skating, 2 guys skating at you as hard as you can at 35 miles an hour. You got to get it out quickly so they're getting better reads out of their own zone.
Nate Danielson is the one in the box on the delay of game penalty against Detroit. Stars have the power play for the next 2 minutes. Harrison Scott will lean in to take the draw, cannot win it. As the Wings look to clear quickly, and good adjustment momentarily by Schmidt to cut it off at the blue line, but he was bumped off the puck. And the Stars will reset. Tristan Bertucci. Now dropping it back to Emil Hemming. He's the lone first-round pick on the Dallas roster in this series. Martino plays it behind the Wings' cage. As Detroit will cut it off and clear it out again.
Yeah, when you look at this Bertucci, he's one of the smoothest skaters. They feel one of the best skaters out here tonight from a defensive aspect. Very mobile. He'll be the guy working the top of the power play, real strong offensively, and looking to distribute the puck to either side from that quarterbacking position.
Played with Barrie in the OHL last season. As the Stars turn it over inside their own zone, Detroit's going to play keep away. Robertson Palmer skates it all the way back to the Detroit end.
When you think of Bertucci, think Thomas Harley a little bit with his skill set, his ability to move the puck up.
Minute to go in the power play for the Stars. They trail 1-0 here. Game one of this two-game set for a prospect series between the Stars and the Detroit Red Wings. Artem Schlane scampering the puck across the Detroit line, and instead things end up back at center.
Another guy to watch that we're really impressed with in the coaching staff, number 27, Trey Taylor. Man, he's a great skater, smooth, wonderful guy, and we'll talk more about him as this evening unfolds.
His name has been said quite a bit from a few people on the Dallas Stars side over the last 24 hours as the Stars set things up. Taylor moves it down, right back to him. He was a power play quarterback in college and then joined the AHL's Texas Stars late last season. A one-timer glancing off a stick and over the net, bouncing in the trapezoid. The Stars cannot relocate it back to Taylor. 10 seconds to go on the man advantage for the Stars. As the Wings force it down, this is Bantle in the corner of the Dallas zone. So now Ertl replays it behind his own net. The power play is over. We're back to 5-on-5. Just under 8 minutes to go in our first period.
Yeah, plenty of zone time for the Stars. They're just unable to get real good shots toward the net.
And here comes Danielson, the man who was coming out of the box, but a step too quick. And the Wings are called offside.
Now you think at this juncture, it's nice for the Stars to get out there. You know, we talked about you, Brian, right, about this young man.
Yeah.
You know, not young. He's one of the older guys here.
He's 23 years old, yeah.
He looked really great coming into Texas last year. College guy, strong, really dialed in. Doesn't he just seems like a pro's pro already in his first little stint here as a professional?
He went to Clarkson University and then finished the season with the Texas Stars, but then played in 14 playoff games. So in a very short time frame, he earned himself a regular spot on their blue line and their second power play unit.
Super dialed in, everybody tells us, from that pro feeling. You know, just talking with him, you know, he's really got his stuff together, doesn't he?
Well, and there were 18 players from a playoff series last year that the Grand Rapids Griffins on the Detroit side and the Texas Stars on the Dallas side on the playoff rosters. They met in an opening round series that the Texas Stars did win. So there's a little bit of familiarity between some of the players on each roster here from that series a year ago as Dallas controls offensively. Managed here by Martino. All fed back in front to him. Couldn't locate the puck. Both teams hacking and whacking. Finally, the Wings will force it out to center. And all the way down to Cross. He was one of the players in that playoff series last year between Grand Rapids and Texas. As the Stars move in, Hemming, wrister from the circle, punched away by Guimon. Now funneled in front again, bouncing in front off bodies, loose between the circles. And the Wings knock it free out to neutral ice.
Guimon's coughing up quite a few rebounds in front. Stars just unable. Detroit defensemen doing a pretty good job of clearing that front of the net.
The shots on goal are currently 9 apiece with just over 6 minutes to play in our first period, but the Wings have the opening goal just 27 seconds in. As Cross will reset things for Bergsland inside the Dallas zone. Now Scott carrying. Shielding his way through 3 white jerseys, finally wraps it around to the corner. It's Ertl possessing on the backhand. Leaves it to Taylor through the circle. A crossing feed. Too hot to handle for Scott. He had a wide open net.
That thing was heat coming across. Scott was not going to handle that thing.
Great vision by Taylor to see him cross ice, and then a shot by Taylor off the mark. And now it's Schmidt for the Stars. He'll dump it cross ice. So the Wings in transition as Bantle has trouble settling down a bouncing puck. McDonnell will step across the Detroit line. And the puck will skip around again. This is Paquette on the forecheck, who lost his helmet on the play. And the Wings will transition back in. Handled here by Bantle. Leaves it now to Doucette. He tries to play it up the boards to himself. Bumped by Paquette, but maintains control. Now things will skip around here to the near side. Cristoforo swats it free. This is punted possessing. Sharkey trying to shoulder the puck across the Detroit line, running into contact, and instead the Wings come back with possession. There's Lombardi operating. A rink-wide feed. Sandin Palika's wrister was knocked down by the glove of Cross. Could not snare it cleanly, and the Wings will extend the possession. And now Lombardi shot through traffic, gets on net, turned away by Cross.
Yeah, Detroit's forward, they are not afraid to go upstairs. Every single shot has been off the shoulder of Cross.
Icing waved off as the
Texas area there.
And his counterpart, Dan Watson, this is going to be his third season with the Grand Rapids Griffins, so he has a little familiarity already as the Wings move in. This is Brandzik Nygaard, whose opportunity was punched away.
Taylor does the takedown, UFC style, in front of the net.
And Emmett Finney does not like the treatment as the shot was knocked down by Finney. Couldn't get the redirect on net.
Steve Yzerman likes that. That's old school 90s right there with the cross check.
Stars have a potential 2-on-1 as it's pushed in by Martino. His crossing feed, skipping over the stick of Emil Hemming. And now Hemming trying to recover possession, instead lost the puck. And it's the Wings on the move.
One thing about this rink, and I spent a lot of time on this ice, it's very hot down there. The puck bounces a lot, so you're going to have to be careful, and they're going to figure it out. You got to be very careful with those types of passes. Difficult to do on the ice surface down low.
And you're later in the period, which does not help that cause with just over 3 minutes to play. Wings with the 1-0 advantage. And now an outlet feed is misdirected as it's still loose inside the wing zone. Tipped out to center. And a little miscommunication between Punnett and Schmidt as the Wings take advantage to force control back in their favor. A quick shot gloved out of the air by Cross.
Played 40 games in the East Coast League, Steelhead, where they went through 5 goalies in the minor leagues there for the Dallas Stars team in the East Coast. So he's one of the guys that really was leading the charge down there in that area, and JJ feels that he's going to make his steps to move forward.
And he gets a piece of the one-timer off the Detroit shot. As Punnett will chase it down deep in the Dallas zone, looking for Cameron Schmidt. Misplayed it, but gets it back. Then try to play it to himself across the blue line, and instead it was sniffed out. Well, Schmidt has to get back. Stars have a player offside. Justin Ertl will float it in. Dallas will use the opportunity to change with 2:21 left in this opening frame. Here's Detroit shifting through center. McDonnell breaks things up just in front of the Dallas line. So push things ahead of Collard. Now chases it down again in the corner of the wing zone, back to the blue line. Now handled here by Bertucci. Floats a soft wrister, knocked down by Guimond. Here's a wraparound chance from behind the net that's turned away, and now Guimond pounces on the loose puck. There's a few more shoves after the stoppage get traded off, but things will settle down, and we'll get a face-off inside the Detroit zone.
Yeah, like I said, we talked about the loose change in front of the Red Wings goaltenders. Talked about determination. That's one thing that they want to see, the fight, the will to get to what they call the hard areas. Not hard areas like the 90s, but still a tough area to get to. And I see on the replay, McDonnell getting in there, a little hack and whack to the face, and Paquette in there as well. Why not drive the net, get in there, create some havoc?
Well, and J.J. McCoy, where they want to see him be most effective. That's exactly what he was doing on that possession right there.
Yeah, high ankle sprain and then a couple shoulder injuries been tough on him, so they want him. Controlled aggression is what he called it this morning, Brian. He wants them to get in there and get nasty just like he did on that last play.
Well, he's going to lay the puck back in his own zone to Bertucci. As Dallas is trying to break the Wings forecheck. Here's Chisholm. Flips it down into the corner of the wing zone. Stars looking to get there. It's picked up at the blue line by Feuder. Cuts to the middle of the ice. Wanted to lay it off to Chisholm as things went skipping around. Dallas holds it in at the line, flipping the puck wide. Now the Wings having some trouble corralling things in their own end. Long outlet feed as the Wings are on the move. Broken up by Bertucci at the center of the Dallas line.
Yeah, it's one thing the Stars have done better is in the neutral zone. We saw early, and even the goal was created because of speed through the neutral zone. They've shored that area up a little bit and been stronger and made it tougher on the Detroit team to come through.
Here's Feuder possessing. Lays it off to the high slot. Gorzinski couldn't settle it down as his stick was tied up. Just under a minute to go in this opening period. A puck on net, punched away by Cross. Now protected here by Muhanen. And it's Christensen for Detroit. He spun around. Here's Schlane stepping in for the Stars. Fans on the wrister. Tried to return it in front. Skips out to the blue line. This is Taylor. Now Another bobbling puck skips off to the corner of the Wings zone. 22 seconds left in this first period with the Wings leading 1-0. Here comes Detroit with possession. So it's moved down to Bicker. There's a Becker and a Bicker on this Detroit roster for these two games. 9 seconds to play in the period. Wings still controlling. Stars want to lock things up. This is Bicker protecting, lays it behind the Dallas net. And Schlein will swat it away as the horn will sound, and the opening period comes to a close. So 27 seconds in, we had a goal from Emmett Finney to make it 1-0 Detroit, but scoreless after that point, Sevy, and chaotic to start, but it did look like a bit of a rhythm.
For the Stars, you see them grinding it low, getting pucks deep, moving pucks to the middle, and trying to clog up that neutral zone or that stuff in front of the net, and they have to do a better job of getting to those pucks.
The shots were 14-11 in the first period, favoring the Wings, who control in their own zone. Dallas on the forecheck could not force the turnover. And Finney, who is the lone goal scorer in this game, is the one who sends it down. Played a couple of preseason games last year for Detroit, so he has been a part of these prospect showcases before, and one of the more experienced players on this Wings roster. As it's held here by Sandin Pellikka, one of the top defensemen at the World Junior Championships the last couple of years, and a highly touted prospect on the blue line that Wings fans are certainly excited about.
Oh, yeah, a lot of talk about ASP.
Yes.
That's what they call him, Brian.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, he's got to work on the North American game, but, man, is he talented.
Well, the Wings holding things in. Here's an odd man rush as Cross is pulled out of position, and the Wings score. Lombardi cut it off, had all the time in the world, and one of the veteran players on this Wings roster makes it 2-0 Detroit.
Yeah, Lombardi was not supposed to play in this game, and because of an injury to the top prospect in Carter Bear, he gets the look for this game. Comes in, makes a nice play. Just given so much time here. Look at him hold on to this puck, and almost right there. Taylor almost went down and had to make the save. Giveaway, obviously, on the wall. Real nice job by Lombardi to come in there. Amadeus signed a 3-year entry-level deal in 2022, and it's running all the way through this season. So obviously a guy that can put the biscuit in the basket because he's got a lot of speed for this Detroit team.
Well, the Wings, what can he do in a full season if he can stay healthy? From the Detroit side of things, that is certainly a story to watch on a prospect angle with the Wings.
Yeah, known him more as a playmaker. You know, he's got to work on some of that goal scoring and shooting deception. We did see that on that particular play, coming off the wall with plenty of time because the Stars, first of all, because of the giveaway, and then allowing him that much time to make a play. 4th-round
pick for the Wings in Lombardi. As the Wings get possession at center ice, Dallas looking to break things up. Instead, it's Lombardi stepping in, drifting through the circle. Wanted to cycle it in front. It comes out to the high slot, and a shot off the stick of Magnuson knocked away. As the puck will skip its way back inside the Detroit zone. Now Lombardi carrying back in again. Certainly managing the play for the Wings early on in this second period. Not quite 2 minutes in. 2-0 score favoring Detroit.
Just like we saw in the first period, Brian, it is all Detroit moving that puck up, creating speed, getting speed through the neutral zone. Dallas team is going to have to, again, try to cinch up that neutral zone to slow down some of these quicker players for Detroit.
Yeah, Kilfoyle pressed into the boards on top of the puck. Longer line change in the second period. That could certainly benefit the speed of the Wings prospects in this middle frame, but Dallas just trying to clog things up in their own zone at the moment. Finally, a bouncing puck will be picked up by the Stars. A stretch pass handled here by Martino. His low shot off the rush, kicked away by Guimond.
Oh, what a pass through the middle there. A lot of bodies there, and finds the feed at the blue line.
Williams spins out of a hit attempt, and the Wings force it down inside the Dallas zone. An airmailed pass through center, knocked down. And Bouillon will pick it up for the Wings. Stars had a player offside. That gives Bouillon an easy exit. So he'll loft it down into the Dallas zone. Getting there first was Scott. Sail the puck around. Now it's Kennedy holding it for Detroit. Now trust Scott. Long stretch pass pushed in by Detroit. Backhand centering feed was tamped away by Cristoforo of Dallas. Comes all the way back to Truscott at the point. His shot blocked by Sharkey. Well, Truscott decides to step out to center as Sharkey was chasing down that loose puck. We've got a penalty coming against the Wings. Sharkey grabs.
Bunch of guys that have not played together. They're going to have to find their rhythm, move the puck, Second period starting to feel better out there. You can just see the puck is not moving great because of the heat and the ice out there. It's going to be difficult to make these sharp plays.
Wings win the face-off, and Truscott will dump it the length of the ice. As Dallas begins their second power play of the contest. There's Cameron Schmidt carrying in. He shoots it down into the corner. Hemming lets it roll back. Well, both teams bouncing the puck between each other. Emmett Finney will carry it out to center for the Wings. Looking to shield things from Martino. Stars take it back. Schmidt finds Martino back in. Now tries to push it in front as Scott is forced behind the net. His centering feed was cut off by Danielson. And the puck cleared the opposite way by the Wings.
Yeah, pretty sloppy entry by the Stars, but they were able to get the puck deep and then the giveaway from behind of the net. A little bit of nerves there on that one, Brian.
1:10 left in this power play for Dallas as they carry back in. Hemming chasing it down in the corner. And the Wings once again thwart things defensively. Here's Collard. So he'll carry down the left side of the Dallas zone. His wrister punched away by Cross. Stars in transition. This is Scott. Had it jammed away right at the Wings line. And now it's Schlane.
So after a minute being out there, and the Stars were a little bit tired coming in on that entry and couldn't get it deep. Second unit on right now.
38 seconds left in the man advantage for Dallas. They trail by a 2-0 score to these Red Wings. Paquette back to Taylor. Now leaves it here for Schlane. Back to Taylor holding. Now off here to the left side. It's handled by Ertl. Taylor. Stars trying to open up some space. Here's Paquette. His crossing feed to Schlane. Knocked down by the goaltender Guimond. Couldn't cover it. Dallas will regroup. Final seconds of their man advantage. It's down to Schlane in the corner. Bad angle effort from the circle. Through a couple of bodies and wide. Taylor holds it in. Things are back to 5-on-5. The centering feed knocked away by the stick of Guimond. Dallas looking to hold it in. As Paquette can't find the rolling puck inside the Detroit zone. Now Murphy coughs it up. Ertl gets a hold. Leaves it here to Paquette. Now Schlane. Picked up by Ertl. Curls out to the point. A little bit of space. A low shot glancing off the body and wide of the net. As Detroit gets a hold, Dallas aggressive on the forecheck, and they swat it out to center. And then misplayed back into the Detroit zone as Murphy's long feed is going to miss the net. They're going to wave off icing.
Boy, Detroit had struggled mightily with the puck in their own zone. Had a couple opportunities to clear, unable because of the pressure. The Stars jumped on those loose pucks.
Now Feuder with a little bit of speed, and we've got a Detroit player taken out on the play. So a delayed call against the Stars, as it will be touched here by Gorzik, who's the last player to be picked in that top half. But you look at what Detroit's done. 15 picks in the first 2 rounds in the last 5 years. The Wings, they're just outside that playoff bubble. A lot of people wonder, is this the year that they finally get over the hump and push themselves back in? Dallas has been in that playoff party for the last handful of years.
Yeah, these two organizations in much different ends of the spectrum when you look at where they are in the standings and what they have coming up.
Dallas forcing things deep in the Detroit zone. Wings are on their first power play of the contest. Dawson Sharkey, a 2-minute tripping minor. As the Wings have a 2-0 lead already in this contest. 2 early period goals. One in the opening 23 seconds of the first and another in the opening minute of this second period.
Stars very good with their power play unit, as we know, with Elaine Nazardine. And here Fatunas, the assistant coach, has them going. It's their first look for the Stars and for us to see their penalty kill units.
Loose puck in the goal crease, pounced on by Cross, stopping play with 1:17 left in this power play for the Wings.
Brian, you talked about the difference in the two clubs, right? If you're looking at the Dallas Stars and look at an overview of the state of the team, you look at teams around the National Hockey League, they love to be where the Dallas Stars are, right? The expectations are playoffs just aren't good enough, right? They have to have Stanley Cup contention, success equals deep runs, Stanley Cup final. Fans and management want to see that. Where Detroit, they're middle of the pack. And that's tough because they're not good enough to get those high picks, and they're not bad enough to, really tank and get what they need. So it's a difficult push for this Detroit team, but they do have some young talent coming up, as we're seeing today.
Yeah, Steve Yzerman, he has been building that core. We know what Lucas Raymond can do in Detroit. We know what Moritz Seider can do. It looks like the goaltender, Sebastian Kosa, is the next guy to graduate at some point here in the next year or so and possibly be a part of that core. be what Jake Ottinger has now become for the Dallas Stars. At least that's what the plan feels like up there in Detroit.
Yeah, 9 seasons now without playoffs. A little tough.
Lombardi leading the transition on the power play for the Wings. Trying to drop it off to the point. Broken up by Dallas. Cleared out the opposite way. 30 seconds to go in this man advantage for the Wings. It's Shai Buium, the older brother of Zeev Buium, who made his NHL debut last year. Begins the rush up by.
Nearly Israeli, right?
Yes.
To play in the National Hockey League.
Nearly broken up by Feuder at center. But the Wings do get it in. Shot by Sandin Pellikka. Absorbed by Cross. Freezing play.
Yeah, first real opportunity by Detroit on that one. You know, for Detroit, when you look at their specialty teams, much different. Worst penalty kill for the Detroit Red Wings in the NHL, and then the power play. 5-on-5 really wasn't there for them, so they're looking for goal scoring for Detroit at the big club. Penalty kill struggled. They hope the new coaching staff with Todd McClellan coming in. December 26th, I believe he was there, looking to make some adjustments. There was that bump Detroit saw when he first entered, couple 7-game winning streaks in that run.
One-time blast from the right side, knocked down by Cross as the Stars have killed it off. 5-on-5 hockey. And the Wings with a 2-0 lead here in the second. There's Buium dancing. Now trying to lay this one off to Danielson. Protecting the puck. Moves it behind the net now to Finney. Being watched by Taylor. Now back to Sandin Pellikka at the line. He'll hold. It's a high wrister go. Knocked down by Cross again. He'll cover and stop play. With 11:25 left in this middle period. 2-0 lead favoring the Wings.
Yeah, for Stars fan and for Detroit, if you're watching on their platform, Pellikka is a guy that obviously he's got it all. For us, Miro Heiskanen, when we first saw him in these types of games in Traverse City, you're just like, oh, who's that? And you can really see with ASP, as the fans call him again, that the 20-year-old has got something, man. He can move that puck, smooth skating, right-handed D, everything you want. 17th overall in 2023. Last 2 seasons in one of the top leagues in Sweden. So he's a guy that can really move that puck. High-end defender. That's going to be a staple of their organization for many years.
Axel Sandin Pellikka, which is why they go with the moniker ASP.
Much easier to say.
It's much easier to say. Stars force things out to neutral, now trying to reset possession. Instead, they turn it over in their own zone. Cristoforo is going to sweep it around.
Yeah, 2 seasons as best defenseman at the World Juniors, eh? Yeah. That tells you a little bit about his skill set.
As Cristoforo returns it over here to the far side. Now cut off by Robertson Palmer of Detroit. Stars do force it out to center. There's Emil Hemming leading things in. Now Schlein beats it down into the corner. A centering feed intended for Hemming. He was tied up. As the puck is loose just inside the Detroit zone. Chased down by Christensen. Can't swing it the rest of the way. Dallas takes over. Now an outlet feed was cut off by Magnuson and returned back behind the Dallas net as both teams were in the middle of line changes. Angled up the near side here. Stars under some pressure. Lombardi is the one applying that pressure, but Dallas maintaining control. Handled here by Martino. A bouncing outlet feed is deflected into the Stars bench. So a neutral zone faceoff coming as we have 10:15 left in our second period.
Yeah, you say the top line for the Stars prospects, Martinez, Schlein, Hemming. When they out there, they seem to be getting pucks deep, moving around effectively. And Hemming, obviously, the guys we feel that of everybody in a big opportunity to make his push to the Dallas Stars to their big club.
48 points in 60 games last season for Emil Hemming in the OHL with Barrie. As the Wings will force things inside the Dallas zone. Here's an opportunity now for Bantle down the slot. Turned away by Cross. The rebound followed up on and the Wings score.
Again, this whole play transpires with speed through the neutral zone area and then ends up being a 2-on-1. And the deuce is loose there. Doucette comes in, picking up the loose change. The work was done well ahead, but driving the net, making sure that you're getting to pucks. Here's the play off the boards. Nifty little pass. Cross makes the first save, and then Stars unable to get to that second rebound. And There he is, jumping on that loose puck. Doucette, 23-year-old.
Doucette made his pro debut a couple of years ago between the ECHL's Toledo Walleye and the AHL's Grand Rapids Griffins. 21 points in 64 games a year ago in the American League, so looking to build on that as Guimond will cover up the rolling puck.
That's one of his strengths, is his plays around the net. Led the Quebec Major Junior League 45 in a breakout 22-23 season. That shows his instincts. Gets the puck a lot, high shooting percentage. So he's a guy that around the net shows that work ethic, that persistency. You know, one of those guys that as you work through these prospect camps, his third year of his entry-level contract, you know, when you get 23, 24, you want to start to make an impact in the big club, and it starts here at these types of games and these kinds of tournaments.
And what can be unique about these prospect tournaments and showcases is, you know, you mentioned Doucette, who just scored for Detroit. That's an undrafted free agent. Emmett Finney was a 7th-round pick. You know, Lombardi was a 4th-round pick. The Stars, unfortunately, do not have a goal in this one, but you come into these games and you focus on the first-round guys. You know, Detroit sent 3 of them. There was going to be 4, but Carter Bear was injured. We've talked about Emil Hemming on the Dallas side. He's their lone first-rounder, but these late-round picks or these free agent invitees are the ones who have kind of had an impact on this first game at least, and they're also the more mature players at the moment entering this game. So it does feel like something goes hand in hand when you have that situation, especially in the first game of a prospects tournament.
Yeah, there's 8 of them there for Detroit, 8 for the Stars as well coming into this game. So you bring in these guys, this is an opportunity, guys that maybe didn't come to development camp. You get a look in front of management and the scouts to hopefully show your stuff.
Well, Ertl trying to chop a puck away as it was loose at center ice. William regains for Detroit. His outlet feed nearly caught the linesman. Instead, it's picked up by the wings, moving in. A quick shot and a glove save by Cross, denying Andre Becker on the 1-0 chance. And that'll give us a face-off inside the Dallas zone.
Yeah, there's Cross again coming out. You can see, just kind of opened up a little bit. Out of the neutral zone play, speed towards the net. And again, you can see that's Cross comes out, challenges, the glove's right there. Big goaltender, you know, as JJ was saying, really dialed in with his game. At one point in the season in the East Coast League, where he did 20 games, he had 13 wins in those games, and right here off the face-off.
William with the quick shot, driving through the circle, banked it off the bar. That's going to make it 4-0 Detroit. And William, another one of the mature players, 22 years old, AHL experience last year with 67 games and 25 points. He buries the 3rd goal of the period for the Wings to make it 4-0.
I was too busy squawking to see this when Becker gets the draw. It's a quick little tip, and look at that. Loss of coverage. And boy, they've been trying to do that on Cross all night, is go upstairs on him. He drops early. Yeah, this quick little exchange loses the winger. That play is the responsibility of the winger to stay with them. And I know they were talking about that particular play this morning in their practice, so you could see somewhere along the way there was a little miscommunication down at the ice level.
Well, and Ben Cross is a 6'5" goaltender to pick the corner short side post, even off a face-off. You're threading a needle. It was a heck of a shot by William as well.
Yeah, you teach the kids coming off there, that's the spot that's most available.
Yeah.
And if the goaltender's off even a little bit, not up in the stance, you can find it under the bar, as we saw there.
All the Wings active on the forecheck again. They'll force possession away. The centering feed was knocked aside. That was Finney on the effort. Now handled here by Bantle. As he cycles it back down low. Kevin Bicker looking to maintain control. Now Bantle back to the blue line. Mishandled, poked away. Here's Martino trying to chase it down. Lost it, but regained by the Stars. In comes Schlane. Leaves it off here to Martino, and one pass is too many. And the Stars can't get the shot off on the rush up ice.
Yeah, that'll drive the coaches crazy. You get an opportunity, you're in the high danger area, as we call it. Got to send that puck. Especially with only 4 shots in this period, Brian.
Yeah.
Stars have got to generate a little bit more.
24-15, the shots on goal favoring the Wings. Here's a one-timer across the line that was knocked down by Guimond. Handcuffed him a little bit. Stars with a few touch passes. Feuder's effort was blocked. And the puck skips off to the corner. Outlet feed cut off at the line by Dallas. Funneled back behind the Wings cage. Here's Kennedy. He tries to lay it off to Nygaard. He's bounced off the puck. Danielson trying to regain. Gorzinski keeping things alive for Dallas. As Detroit looks to reverse things. Instead, it bounces back to Kennedy.
Yeah, got to see more of that. Footer, Sharkey in there. Gorzinski as well, getting the pucks deep, laying the body. That's really the first sustained really push that we've seen from the Stars, getting pucks toward the net, trying to find the opportunity. Feuder all over the ice, trying to create something. It's a good shift. That's what you want to see when you get kind of a dead period for this team. Which young guy's going to come out, create some energy, get the boys going a little bit, and on that particular play, we're able to at least put and funnel some pucks toward the net.
Well, Chisholm wrestles the face-off away from Lombardi. The Stars will move in. It's managed here by Paquette. He'll funnel one in front, knocked down by Guimond. Picked up here by the Stars again. Back to Muhonen at the blue line. Well, Chisholm's shot knocked down by bodies in front. Quick opportunity for McDonnell, and he steered it just wide. It's regained by Bouillon for the Wings. Now Sandin Pellikka. Long feed up the right side, handled by Doucette, looking to cut in. His angle was taken away. Sandin Pellikka trying to dance around his teammate in Doucette. Now shifted off to Lombardi in the circle. Bouillon. He moves it into the corner. It will skip behind the Dallas cage. Muhonen trying to break things up defensively. Chisholm in there as well. And now Doucette for the Wings. Extending the possession.
Oh, it's a little clinic and cycling down low for the Detroit team.
Stars finally break things up, but they cannot clear. Lombardi regains at the Dallas line. Dancing down the slot, snaps off a wrister and a glove save by Cross. And we'll move things along as quickly as we can.
It's good, keeps you on your toes, keeps you busy.
Absolutely. Now Truscott with a drive for the Wings off the draw, and that one's turned away.
And that's what cycling's going to do. It's going to drop everybody down. Now you're going to get some more point shots. Detroit, again, is putting on a clinic in that low to high play.
Now the puck rolling free behind the Stars net again. Chasing after it was Bantle. Couldn't separate the man from the puck as Dallas will carry things out to center. Here's Ertl. His touch pass was swatted aside. Truscott retreats behind the Wings net. Takes a hit from Scott, jarring the puck free. The Wings still with control. Now Schmidt for the Dallas Stars was able to force something in front.
Stars running around a little bit, trying to chase their hits.
Yeah. Bantle's effort from the left side, never made it on net. Back to the blue line, a shot by Murphy. Deflected off a stick and wide. Dallas plays it off the glass, just out of the reach of Ertl. Gets a friendly bounce off the body of the referee. Ertl looks for some open ice. Punnett couldn't get there in time. Taken over by Bicker of Detroit. He's bumped off the puck at the red line.
Yeah, Stars in this area have to just make a few more plays, get on the puck earlier. Not too many direct passes we've seen.
offensively across the line. Crossing feed to Hemming was steered away defensively. Now a loose puck back at center. Stars misplay it. Magnuson takes over. Both teams trading possession between the blue lines here, and finally a loose puck. Hustled down by the Stars deep in their end. Martino couldn't settle it down. Detroit takes over. Drop pass. Rister from the high slot. Blocked in front by Punnett.
Punnett, there it is. Aggressive all night, blocking a shot, getting down there, helping out his squad.
Quick shot from the slot, knocked away by Cross, and we've got a hand pass called against the Wings. That'll stop play. Bit of a shot for Branseg Nygaard after the whistle.
He was had a heck of a game for Detroit as Amadeus Lombardi, who was again not supposed to play in for Bear. You know, he's a guy that the Detroit team may look to call up. You look at his numbers from the Grand Rapids, and as Punnett is still getting in there, looking for a dance partner.
Well, finally they're going to put Punnett and Murphy in the penalty boxes. Try to turn down the temperature a little bit. There's been a little bit of that feistiness all game long, which has certainly been enjoyable to see.
Oh, he gets a nice little shot. Punnett does. That's why he got fired up with Murphy coming.
Highly touted first-round picks of the Red Wings. He was on their announced roster, but a late scratch coming in here, and he did have his junior season cut short last year with an Achilles injury. So he is coming back from that. As the Stars are forced back out to center, Scott was tripped up, and we're going to get a penalty against the Wings. So with a minute.
This is where you get some opportunities to put the puck in the net. You're going to see what kind of offensive instincts these kids have.
It'll be Harris and Scott on the face-off for Dallas. Nate Danielson for the Wings. And Scott's able to win it, but play whistle dead. It's like a premature puck drop.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about Cameron Smith, and he's one of the kids that we want to see with that speed. Again, it comes down to the 18-year-old and his size. Everybody talks about it's a little smaller individual.
Now Scott's going to be kicked out, so it's Emil Hemming that's going to take the draw now. Did a good job to tie it up. Stars get possession back to Bertucci. Now Schmidt holding top of the circle. Bertucci waiting. Schmidt with 50 seconds to go in the period. Trying to build up a little bit of speed. Now lays it behind the net. Scott tied up by Kennedy. Schmidt comes in, has it stabbed away. Bertucci didn't want to pinch down the wall. And instead, Detroit will clear it the length of the ice. Bertucci back to receive. 32 seconds left in the period. Stars on a 4-on-3 power play as they trail 4-0 here to the Wings. Game one of this two-game prospect series between these teams. Bertucci. Lays it off now to Hemming. To Bertucci. His one-timer was tipped off a stick in front, but blocked. Finney will clear it. And 13 seconds remain in the period now.
Yeah, Stars tried to do a little quick exchange, but it was read perfectly by the defense.
Schlein chasing it down in the corner. Reversing things off to Hemming. Misplayed the puck, cut off by Kennedy. He'll clear it with the final seconds ticking away. The Wings will still have.
What an opportunity right there. Lombardi comes to the middle of the ice, dusts it off a little bit.
Power play time in a 4-on-3. We also have a new goaltender for the Red Wings in Landon Miller. A 2024 fourth-round selection of the Wings, 19 years old, and all three goalies that Detroit brought to this showcase, 6'4", 6'3", 6'5". There's a lot of size in net that the Stars are having to deal with these netminders.
Yeah, not too often we're going to see a 5'10" goaltender anymore.
Not anymore. Stars with a little bit of time left on this 4-on-3. As Taylor operates at the top of the zone, his wrister knocked down in front. Miller caught a piece, back out to Taylor. Low pass. And a bad angle chance, or a sharp angle chance, off the stick of Martino was denied. And the Wings will clear it down inside the Dallas zone, and that will do it for the Stars power play with the final seconds ticking off.
Yeah, 19-year-old Landon Miller had to be ready for that. Pinpoint shot by Martino.
Stars with 10 seconds left on their power play. We have the 4-on-3, and now it's the 5-on-4 variety as Detroit will clear it the length of the ice again. Ben Cross, he was the starter for Dallas. He'll get this entire game tomorrow. It's expected to be Arno Tiefensee in net for the Stars.
Good job with that, by the way.
Took a lot of work. Took a lot of work.
We'll talk a little German ice hockey tomorrow with him in the cage.
Things tied up on the far side of neutral as the Stars look to regain possession. Instead, both teams exchange. Now an outlet feed steered away by Dallas. Wings nearly coughed it free for another opportunity. Instead, Detroit's going to slow down at their own line. It's Lombardi, who has probably been the biggest play driver in this first game for the Wings. Stars turn it over. Here's a golden chance in front. Cross spread out, and it was nearly tucked around him, but somehow held out. Tommy Berglund, I believe, caught a stick on that puck on the goal line as it was behind Cross. Dallas icing the puck, giving us a face-off.
With Martino off to the side, and then as the puck comes across here, watch that. Extends the leg. Oh, good save by Berglund right there as well. Defenseman, great position. Cross swimming a little bit. Nice job. Keeps this game 4-0.
Lombardi scored 55 seconds into the second period. He was the one involved on that play right there. Once again, probably the most visible player offensively for the Wings in this contest. And now it's Feuder for the Stars. His outlet feed out of the reach of Punnett, who instead cuts off a puck at the red line. Now Christensen will angle it in. Bertucci getting there first, swats it around. Christensen's going to return it for the Wings. Schlein trying to force it free from Lombardi. Instead, Bertucci. Dallas takes over on the short pass. Schlein rink wide. And now it's punched in by Sharkey.
You can see how important that first pass is. Defenseman carries it, moves it to the center. Center moves it wide to the wing and gets out of the zone. Just not enough of that because of the hard work of Detroit against the Stars.
Well, McDonnell is the one trying to cause some chaos below the end line. Let the Wings alleviate the pressure. They flip things out to center. Both teams throwing a couple of hits away from the puck, and finally a penalty is going to be called. There's Chisholm, and is that Murphy again for Detroit? Yes, it is. Sean Chisholm on the Dallas side was the one involved as play is whistled dead on the puck drop. One of the entertaining things for me in a situation like that in these games, Murphy's 18. He's jumping into this for the first time. Sean Chisholm's 24. Age disparity is a thing when you play in the NHL, and that is something these kids experience. They're used to playing against their peer group. As the Wings off a fanned one-timer reset for a second look. This is Sandin Pellikka. Now his feed in one-timer was blocked in front. Erdl trying to tie it up. The Stars do have a man in the penalty box off the fracas. So another power play chance for Detroit. Danielson returns it to Sandin Pellikka. Wrister by Danielson blocked in front. Tristan Bertucci is the one in the penalty box for the Stars. And Scott tries to tie things up behind the Detroit net. Wings come away with possession. And they'll move off the rink-wide feed. Danielson holding. They'll drift in across the blue line. Now returns it here to the near side. Doucette, his crossing feed. Danielson finds it and scores. Scratch that. Brandseck Nygaard found it and scored. So the Wings going east-west on the passes through neutral ice, and on the power play chance, they cash in to make it 5-0.
It's kind of the story of this game, isn't it? The speed, as we saw started in the morning practice. Brandseck Nygaard brings it in, moves it across. Look at the heads-up play right here. Stars had an opportunity to pull that one off, but that 19-year-old right winger opens up. Has plenty of time to shoot that one after it comes off the stick of the Stars defender. Obviously a big forechecking defender that they want to create some offense. Real nice job there by Detroit. Speed again through the zone.
It was Emil Hemming that had caught a piece of that puck on the crossing feed, but Brandseck Nygaard, the one who finishes it. He played in 5 preseason games last year for the Detroit Red Wings, another one of their first-round picks out of Oslo, Norway. And now we've got a delayed penalty call against the Stars again. So the Wings will be going right back on the power play. As Kroos touches it behind the net, drawing the whistle. Primarily in the Swedish Hockey League, did come over and pick up some time in the American League, so is it time for him to finally play on a North American rink for a full season? It looks like that is the plan in Detroit with Nygaard. As the Stars pick up a loose puck in their own zone, they do get it out to neutral. And then Schlein from the red line will send it the rest of the way. 5-0 favoring Detroit. They just scored on the power play, and here they are on the man advantage again. Transition play through center operated here by the wings. A wrister from the high slot by Bantle was knocked away. And now picked off in the middle of the Dallas zone. The Stars have a shorthanded 2-on-1. Schlein moving in. His wrister knocked away by Miller, who was able to catch a piece. And it quickly turns the other way for the wings. Bantle carried in through the circle. Protecting off to the quarter. It's wrestled into the boards by Bergsland. 5-car pile up on top of the puck. 3 of them Stars. And the wings come away. Touched off to the right circle, and a quick one-timer by Becker off the mark.
Boy, that thing had a chance, didn't it? Cross screaming across to try to get that one. Fortunately for him, went across to the other side of the ice and down to Detroit's end.
So the wings carrying back in. 40 seconds to go in their power play, as Dallas will take over and clear it out. And the Stars somehow come up with control behind the Detroit net. Unable to do anything with it as the wings carry through center. Pushed in down the right side of the Dallas zone. Well, Punnett tried to line up Kilfoyle for the hit. He was able to fight through it, and the wings maintain control. This is Nygaard at the center of the line. Now Danielson. Back to Pellikka. Shot in front, tipped and scores. A power play strike again for the Wings. And they have now opened up a 6-0 lead over the Dallas Stars prospects.
Oh boy, another one where it starts from the top of the circle. Point shot. I couldn't tell from our vantage point if that was touched or not, but Cross had trouble with it. I was on the ice and somehow find its way through the pads on a bomb from the point. Maybe get a better look at it right here. Nice exchange down low, and there's the shot.
Well, it was Finney positioned in front. I don't know if it clipped him or if it was a Dallas Stars player before it got through Cross.
Yeah, I think it was touched in front of the net by a Dallas Stars player. Stacked up nicely for that, but again, tipped him, and you could tell went right between the wickets of Cross.
The first 2 periods as Dallas carries in. This is McDonnell. His shot knocked away by Miller, but a juicy rebound, and the Stars will regain control. Cristoforo's shot from the blue line was tipped but wide. The first 2 periods, it was Detroit's sort of lower end of the draft, call them depth players in a game like this, but now the first rounders are getting involved as McDonnell dances in looking for the wrap chance, and he scores! Angus McDonnell, he's been the energy guy for the Stars in this game. They've been looking for some kind of spark, and he finally gives them one with their first goal.
Yeah, we talked about transition. Nice little play up through the neutral zone. Oh, a little fake to the toe drag, and he gets Miller to bite. You get a better look at it. Quick little play up the ice, and there. That fake drops the goaltender and then finds its way. Miller couldn't get that left pad across. McDonnell talked about the toughness, hard-nosed player, likes to get in there, not scared to battle. Show a little bit of his offensive flair with that play.
Well, here come the Stars again. Martino was trying to dance down the slot, and he had it swatted away. And just before that McDonnell goal, it was the first rounders in this period for Detroit. You had Nygaard involved, Danielson involved in their first 2 goals.
At 6:53, scored by number 47, Angus McDonnell.
Managed here by the Wings. Here's Bantle. High wrister, well over the mark. Truscott sweeps it around, and Detroit regains possession. Lombardi on the cycle. He carries all the way out to the blue line. Drops it down low as it's fed in front, swatted away by Schlein. The puck pinballing around. Dallas unable to get a clean hold of it. Now Bertucci follows up. And he'll bring it in for Dallas. Being worked along here by Hemming. Well, 1 move too many, had it stabbed free. Dallas has to reset it neutral. As a It's cut off at the Detroit line. Now Nygaard will scamper in around punt it. Dallas will chip it back out to center. Slowed down by Danielson. Back to Sandin Pellikka.
Yeah, the puck movement for Detroit is just catching the Stars at every aspect, whether it's defensively, neutral zone, offensive plays.
And the Wings come in onside, but you start to wonder now, game two, how does Dallas come back from this? Do they have their readjustment? And frankly, for maybe some players that either struggled, I don't know if overwhelmed is the right word, but can they settle into a rhythm like a faster team in morning skate compared to the Stars? And I think that's probably the biggest thing that has stood out, as you said. The speed of the Wings has given the Stars some fits as things pinball in front of Cross, and he had to be ready to try and fight that one off.
That's going to be interesting to talk to Peterson, see what aspects of his game he thinks he's got to adjust in this kind of tournament.
Dallas has a 2-on-1 brewing as it's pushed into the wing zone, and a high wrister off the bar and scores. Jackson Feuder on the effort.
How about that shot? Stars have had these opportunities, as we've talked about.
And
Feuder. Sorry, go ahead.
And it wasn't maybe the cleanest of exits, but they did exit their zone quickly to set up a little bit of an opportunity there after winning a battle along the wall.
Yeah, it's that hard work along the wall. He's a left-handed shot coming down the right side, and we teach players this a lot. You look away, watch where his eyes are. He's looking at the pass. He wanted to draw everybody over, make sure the goaltender doesn't know he's shooting, and how about that? A nicely placed shot. Again, another one of those meaty, scrappy guys that can get here in the play. Again, JJ told us, well, grew up in a farm, so he's a guy that's a meat and potatoes type of player. Looked good at development camp, and shows right there he can be pretty dynamic.
Undrafted free agent in Jackson Feuder, Grand Prairie, Alberta native. As the Stars are in transition again, now it's Cameron Schmidt. His wrister was deflected over the glass and out of play off the opportunity.
Dallas Stars go!
Yeah, 19 years old, he comes in. Put up some good numbers for his first year in Red Deer with the Rebels, with 11 goals in 46 games and 26 points overall. So it's a good start for him, for the youngster. Again, that's the kind of players you're looking for to come in, those, I guess, those diamonds in the rough, if you will. And we're hoping for Jackson he's able to do that.
Well, Harrison Scott needs a new piece of lumber for the face-off in the Detroit zone. 10:51 left in our third period. It's a 6-2 lead for the Red Wings.
It's graphite. It's not wood anymore, Brian.
I like to harken back on the old days.
Harken.
I don't want to let go of the history. As Landon Miller has to cover up a loose puck in front. And now a whole scrum's going to break out, as this has probably been brewing a little bit over the course of this game. We talk about the speed and the skill of the Red Wings. Dallas, they've tried to be a little bit more towards the middle of the ice. And a grinded out style of team for these two games.
The C for this,
yes,
for this game, and showing his leadership there, getting out there and trying to create something. He wants an opportunity here with the Stars. You got to do everything you can. So he wants to have a good start to this, and then hopefully carry that over, obviously, into the training camp.
Well, Scott's going to be kicked out of this face-off. So Ertl will step in against Nate Danielson on the Detroit side. Nate Danielson is one of those players. Is he on the bubble of busting into the NHL, or is one more year in the American Hockey League going to be what he needs for his development? As it's pushed in by Danielson and down into the corner of the Dallas zone. Their head coach, Dan Watson, on the prospect side, said the IQ is there. It's a matter of physically getting through a full season and making that next step for him. Bouncing puck in the middle of the Detroit zone. Murphy getting there. Pursued by Scott. The sticks were tied up. As Dallas tries to free it up to the blue line. And instead, Detroit will move out in transition. Just out of the reach of Nygaard. Stood up by Bertucci.
Got one in the chicklets there, no call.
Schlane takes it back for Dallas. He'll chip and chase down the right side. Williams going to step in front of him. Wings take over. Sandin Pellikka looking to settle down a bouncing puck at the Dallas line. It's going to skip its way into the corner as Punnett and Pellikka trade a shot each back and forth.
Punnett, I've called about 5 slashes on him so far in this game to the back of the calves of the Detroit players.
Dallas with an effort off the rush, turned away by Miller. And recovered by Punnett back inside the Dallas zone. Now Punnett again behind the Stars net. His outlet feed getting through Martino. They will call icing on the Stars, and that'll bring the faceoff back into
be a second line shutdown guy. They're trying to get some offense from him, so that's what Detroit is looking, and we're going to see if he's going to be able to make that jump.
Two-year captain with Brandon, and over a point-per-game player in junior. Last year in the American League, it was 39 points in 71 games, so it's figuring out how to bring that offense along when you reach that next level, which numerous players go through. As the Stars try to baseball the puck out to center, it's held in by the Wings. That was Cristoforo on the high stick play. Now it's Gorzinski.
Man, that puck is really moving and bouncing around for everybody. You cannot handle that thing or skate very long with it.
Couple of bodies upended on each side as the Wings have trouble locating that puck. Now a broken stick. Muhonen's opportunity never made it on net. Taylor regains in front of the Dallas bench. He'll drop it back to Bertucci. Hits the red line and wraps it in. Stars on the forecheck, looking to gain it back. As it came to the blue line, Taylor was stepping out of the way as it was handled by Sharkey. That shrapnel from the stick of Muhonen, still in the middle of the Detroit zone. Now it gets swatted down towards the corner. And the Wings are on the move. Lead pass just out of the reach of Lombardi. As it's centered in front, but picked off by Bertucci coming back. Chisholm staying with it. Wanted to lead Sharkey in offensively, a little miscommunication. And the Stars will finish off their change.
Again, it's that clean movement that the Stars are trying to get. It made the first pass there, and then they fumbled one in the neutral zone. And whereas you look with Detroit, they get it, they move it up, they're making these first passes out. Just like we're seeing here, good little transition out. You see the transition that works, and all of a sudden they get the puck in the offensive zone. It's been the difference in the game.
Yeah. Stars have control, looking for a clean exit. It's fed off to Schmidt with speed. Dancing through the circle, and he never got the shot off and had to be steered away by Miller.
There you see the dangling ability of Schmidt and the speed that he can get to.
The challenge for him, talking to the coaches, is finding opportunities to let that speed and that skill shine. As the puck gets airmailed inside the Dallas zone. Chased down by Scott, handled here by Ertl. They'll dump it in from the red line. Bouillon goes back to handle. 6.5 to play in the third period. 6-2 score favoring the Wings. He started things 23 seconds into the hockey game and then really opened things up in the second. Dallas started to make their offensive push back here in the third with their 2 goals.
And games like this, the score is inconsequential, right? You got to go. You got to show what you got, no matter what it is. If you're Detroit, you got to keep it going. They want to move the puck up effectively. If you're Dallas Stars, you want to see someone
put them back in their own zone off the icing call. And we'll do it all over again. Scott and Becker lean in. Picked up by Muonen as Dallas wins the draw. Ertl being pursued from behind, able to spin the puck out to center. Scott runs into a crowd. And now Becker on the outlet for the Wings. Forced across the Dallas line, maintained here by Becker. Now punched away, let out to center, picked up by Hemming. He'll go one-on-one through the circle. His shot butterflied away by Miller. Hemming trying to stay with it. Gets a hold behind the Detroit net. Dallas was shifting out personnel. Here's Hemming again. Back to Bertucci at the line. He'll float one through bodies that sails wide. Back out to Bertucci at the center ice circle. Swatted in by Hemming. Now the Wings take over. As Doucette ties it up, Dallas forces a turnover. Bouncing puck, but Bertucci gets the shot off, and a sprawled out Miller's able to knock
it out of their zone. For the Stars, if you're a guy like Emil Hemming, you know, when we talk to him, he wants to improve his shot. He needs to get it off quicker. He's coming over from Europe, from Finland, and he talked about it. He spends a lot of time working on his release, trying to get it quicker, get it off. a little bit faster, less space here than at home, he said, when he's coming towards the net in the NHL and the AHL level. So a guy like that, you want to get the puck on his stick, make a difference, close it up as much as you can, and every goal is going to help. So, like I said, we talked about at the beginning of the show or the beginning of the game, consistency. They're looking for consistency in these players, whether you're up, whether you're down. They want to see the same game. So a guy like him, a highly touted first-round pick, they want to see something from him in a game like this to try to get going, even though there is only 5 minutes remaining.
It seemed to be a better second half of the season for Emil Hemming last year in the OHL as opposed to the first half. 18 goals in the regular season, gets to the playoffs. 8 goals in 16 games, 15 points overall in that abbreviated playoff run. And we will see how his second year in North America works out. Once again, the lone first-round pick for the Dallas Stars on this prospects roster this season.
They said he really picked it up after the World Juniors, was able to get some confidence from that and just seemed to be a little bit stronger in all areas, get used to that North American style game.
Now Sharkey's drop pass off the transition was off the mark, so the Wings will take advantage and slow it down inside their own end.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Stars, there's been a lot of off-the-mark passes and plays that have really hurt them a little bit in this game.
Managed here by Dallas in their own zone. Jackson Feuder controlling. Scored the second goal for the Stars in this third period. Dallas dumps it into the Detroit zone. As Murphy gets there first and swats it back out. Now punt it handling. Well, his outlet feed was fanned on. As things pinball around at center, picked up by Schmidt. Now taken back by the Wings. Clearing things the opposite way, they will call icing on Detroit, and we will have our same coverage for that contest as we do tonight. As the Stars go looking for a bouncing puck off the draw. As Detroit takes it behind their own net, looking to evade some danger.
Hey, we don't have officially, but I think as well the Detroit team has been a little bit stronger in the face-off areas all over the ice as well. Again, that's just going by the eye test. We don't have those numbers in front of us.
Well played by the Wings. In they come in transition. A little stutter step play before Cross shut the door on Finney. Finney opened up the scoring in this one for the Wings.
Yeah, it looks similar to that his first goal where he's driving down that left side and cutting towards the cage.
So now Muhonen. He tries to force it up the wall. It was cut off at the red line, returned back in by Detroit. Collar lone forechecker.
Yeah, it's been sticky through the neutral zone again there twice in that series in this shift. The Stars have been unable to get through.
Quick shot by Kilfoyle coming just across the line, but he snapped it wide. Trying to catch Cross off guard a little bit. Stars could have the odd man rush, moving down the slot, and the extra pass was just out of the reach as Taylor tried to set it up.
What a play by Taylor, eh? That play was there. Unfortunately, I don't think who's ever on that right side was paying close attention to that pass coming over.
Looked like it was Harrison Scott, so Taylor, the defenseman, trying to hand it off to the forward on essentially the 2-on-0 down the slot.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again. That was a beauty play.
So here's Hemming trying to dance in. Had the puck knocked away. Wings will take advantage. This is Finney again with that speed down the wing. And the shot bounces off Cross, hits the body of a Stars player and ends up in the net, but immediately waved off. As Finney, similar to the way he scored the opening goal, driving that net wide through the circle.
Yeah, there you see obviously the scouting report on him is when he gets that puck, he is not going to be afraid to drive that net and to be effective. He has been effective with that speed.
Side of things back in the 14-15 season.
Yeah, Paquette, not always about just offense, heavy hitting, physical forward that'll get in there, as we've seen a little bit in this game.
Now Punnet's going to loft one on net, gloved out of the air by Miller, and he'll hold, giving us a face-off inside the Detroit zone. It's started to cool off a little bit.
And when you start to look at the numbers for Paquette, 37 goals, up from 21 the year before, and 70 points in 68 games. And you see a considerable jump in his offense. So he's a guy that's really starting to progress when you look at those types of plays in the offense you can create.
The Stars nearly had a costly turnover at center. It did not turn into anything dangerous on the wing side as Finney will gather it in. Now Detroit begins the transition through center. Jabbed away by Dallas. Brought in by Hemming. A little bit of space. Quick shot down the slot. Gloved out of the air by Miller.
Yeah, there it is, Detroit again. Sorry, Bri, that he's winning that draw and getting advantage with the puck.
Clean face-off win. Lombardi has been the main guy in the face-off circle in this first contest for the Wings. He's been a problematic player for the Stars really throughout this contest. As Bertucci swats it free inside his own zone. The Wings take over. Now it rolls up to Cross. He'll stop play. Period. We'll have 4-on-4 hockey the rest of the way. And Paquette will take the draw for Dallas against Lombardi. Inside the Stars zone. Paquette wins it. It's managed here by Taylor. Flushed out from behind his own net. Now Bertucci. And the pass went right through the skates of Paquette.
Nice play to advance it in their own zone, and then it's the marshmallow through the neutral zone that allows the transition to occur.
As the Wings dump it in, Bertucci pestered by Doucette. Feeds it in front. Quick shot knocked down by Cross. Had the post sealed off. That was Truscott. As Dallas follows up and forces things out to center, just out of the reach of Chisholm. Had to sidestep the hit at the blue line. That gives Detroit an opportunity to clear it, but
the boys going and get them ready for their training camps coming up in midweek.
Yep. As the Wings look to tie things up deep in their own zone, 28 seconds left in the period. Stars looking for one last push. As McDonnell gets in there and the Wings come out with control. This is Lombardi operating. As he puts on the brakes halfway down the Stars zone. Now returned out to center by the Stars. McDonnell carries in his wrister through the circle, absorbed by Miller, and he'll hold with 4.5 to go in the third period now. As we are inching towards the finish line of this first one between the Stars
and the room, but I love the way he's got in there and got his nose dirty in this game.
So one last puck drop before we put a bow on the first meeting between the Stars prospects and the Wings prospects. And as things head down to the Dallas zone, that will do it on our first game. 6-2 the final score favoring the Red Wings. And Sevy, as we talked with Toby Peterson and Dan Watson and a couple of the assistant coaches, a lot of conversation about you're giving minimal information. You're seeing who can process that information, and then you're trying to move forward.